Testing. Yep, it's January 4th. It's 11:11 in the morning when I started getting this together, and it's 65 degrees in Colorado, which is around 16 degrees Celsius. And I'm sitting on my patio. Today we have a fire warning because it's humidity down to like 12, 13%, no moisture, and expecting high winds. So I am savoring my patio beach while I can, because when it gets cold, it could be like -5 or, down in the teens. So, remarkable year. I did learn this week that parts of the Amazon are experiencing very severe and extended drought. The area that I'm going to go to, I wrote to them and they're not being affected by it, but it's actually causing some of the fish to die and the dolphins to die, and so the villages to be isolated. So when that river level fluctuates, tributaries are the access points because there's no roads down there. So the point being, everywhere in the world right now seems like the weather's being really funky and strange. So sitting on the patio, sipping my coffee. I would have sent you a picture of my cinnamon roll, but that didn't last very long. And 2 days later, I put it in the microwave at half power for about 25 seconds. And it remains moist and light and fluffy. So the rest of them, any couple I have left, are going in the freezer for later use. So I'm sitting out here. Phyllis, if you see this, I'm just now starting the book that you loaned to me. I didn't take it on my trip because it's big and bulky and I didn't want to damage it. And it's Rick Steves talking about one of his original trips back in the 70s. Back at that time, I left the University of Louisville in 1984 and put everything into storage and took my bicycle, my camping gear, some of my favorite books, my cooking gear, and I left Louisville to travel for roughly the next 15 months around the United States and Canada. William something, wrote a book about the Blue Highways. And I'd read about John Steinbeck's Travels with Charlie, and there were a couple of other books that had to do with traveling at that time. And I had people encouraging me. It's like, you've got to take notes and write a story about your trip. And I just never felt compelled to do that. So as I'm cleaning up and organizing things and minimizing things around my house, I'm finding a dozen journals I kept from that time frame. So I'm not so much interested in writing a story about that trip, although that was really instrumental. But I start realizing just what a fortunate and blessed and meaningful life I've had. It seems to me it's really important to be clear on what you desire and what your intentions are, and being clear on what's important to you, not what you're being convinced should be important to you. And the more that I became clear on what I wanted, what meant a meaningful, rich life for me, then the more things showed up, the more opportunities showed up. So when I traveled on that trip, I was wanting, I've talked about that in a couple of places. I wanted to make sure I wasn't running away. I was moving towards something. So the first thing I did is what do I want? What is it I want to learn, or how do I want to benefit, or what would I like to gain through this experience? And so I got really clear on that, and then it's one of those first experiences with magic happening, and hearing a random comment in a bookstore, picking up a book, Somerset Maugham, The Razor's Edge, and meeting somebody in a bookstore. They're like, well, where are you staying tonight? Well, I haven't found a camp spot yet. Well, come to the house. Hanging out with Canadian National Outward Bound headquarters and just asking them permission to camp there. We loaded up in the back of a pickup truck and went to town to watch a movie. Meeting the dean of Antioch University in Seattle, and he had a very short window. And when I contacted him, I was really intimidated because, who am I to be talking to the dean or to Richard Bowles or Antioch University in San Francisco, other places I went. Who am I to be? And so I thought, respectfully, for me to be able to spend some time with them and to really make maximum use of that time, I just asked them a couple questions, and like one of the things I'd like to know is what is unique about your approach? Because Antioch University focused on learning, not really on testing results. But the other thing I wanted to know was how do we become more proficient at teaching students to learn how to learn? Translate that to human beings. You memorize, you understand something, you really don't know it. So I remember going to the dean of Antioch University, and he was like, I have a very short time. It's like lunchtime. And in the course of that conversation, he picked up the phone and called a secretary, canceled an appointment, and we spent almost 2 hours together talking about things that were rich and meaningful to both of us. And so that happened over and over again. So I've been contemplating lately, like, what are the moments that just really stand out for me. So there's a mountain biking moment when I realized I was having a bad experience because of my focus. Changed my focus, the experience changed. The moment I'm pinching myself when I'm going down at 5 o'clock in the morning, hiking in the dark before the sun came up, down to Supai and Havasu Falls in the Grand Canyon, something I'd seen pictures of decades before on the farm in Kansas, and those turquoise blue travertine pools. I'm like, there's no way that's in the U.S. I'm going to go there someday. Well, I did. So I'm kind of contemplating what are the things that really stand out for me. And I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet, but I'm just contemplating that. So back to now, I'm going to read Rick's book and contemplate my journey. And I'm starting to make notes on supplies and things that are unique and novel that I need to pack for the trip in the Amazon, because it will be very different from other trips. And savoring life, just appreciating the moment. So from me and my patio beach to you all, and I've got some friends back east. I know you're cold right now, so I'll send you just a little dose of warmth. So I hope the New Year's off to a running start and everybody's doing awesome. So see you later. Ciao.